Dun, 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 dun. Hey gang, I'm JP and welcome back to Talking The Orville on Egotastic FunTime Car Time. Today we're going to have a great time talking about the most amazing thing I've ever seen on television in my entire life. And I was there with Dallas to find out who shot JR, you guys, so that's saying a lot. This was amazing. Last night's episode, this is my first impression for those of you who are new to Egotastic FunTime. Last night's episode, Identity Part 2, the exciting conclusion of the Identity Saga, was incredible. It's what we've all been waiting for. I never even thought that they would be able to surpass my expectations because they were very high, and man, they blew them out of the water. They're all like, bam, explosion, 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 boom, you get Michael Bay'd right in your stupid face, pew, 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 boom, bitch, that's what I'm talking about, right there, boom. And then the outfit was doing John McClane stuff in the conduits, which I predicted would be the case, but of course, he's jelly, you know? We knew Yaphet was going to be crawling through the conduits. So I was right about that, but I was wrong about how that was going to play out. Now, I knew he was going to do the, welcome to the party, pal, climbing through the conduits. I had no idea that it would be a plan that they hatched, that they came up with. I figured he was already in there when the Kalon started boarding. Also, Yaphet, why didn't you hide in the conduits when the Kalon started boarding? Man, okay, so there was things that I was right about and things I was wrong about, and that's because I threw out every possible idea I could think of when it came to this, because part one was so exciting when the Kalon turned on us. Never expected that. I just like just like the crew thought we were going to Kalon, to help Isaac, but then to also, get their help against the Krill. And then once they, turned on us, and it wasn't a test. I said, oh, this just could be their ultimate test to see if they want to join the Union. No, the Kalon are bad. They are bad guys, okay? Genociders, okay? Killing billions of people on their planet. There's no redemption. The episode made a point to say that Isaac was created after all of that jazz, after all the violence and all that stuff. Isaac is new. He's a young pup. He's merely only, 700 and some years old at this point. So he had no part in that. So right then I'm like, okay, he's redeemed. We can save Isaac. But I knew the whole time in my heart that Isaac was on our side and that he was going to save us. I haven't thought about what I'm going to say in this video, just so you guys know. You guys know how the car videos are. This is first impressions. I'm just going to be jumping all over the place because my mind is filled with feels. I'm crying. I'm laughing. I'm excited. Speaking of Isaac, we all assumed, I said in my Identity Part 1 review, that we can all pretty much assume that Isaac was named after Isaac Asimov, prolific sci-fi writer, awesome smartatician. He wrote all those great sci-fi novels, most of them having to do with robots. So we assume that he was named after that. Now in the episode, we find out Isaac picked his name after Sir Isaac Newton. We would all be floating around if he never discovered gravity, you guys. And calculus, God, that comes in handy all the damn time for me. Going, living my life. I'm like, oh, let me use some of my calculus. Oh yeah, I'll get the number 4 with extra fries, please. There was so much going on the screen during the space battle, which was amazing. We're making our way to Earth. We don't know what's going to happen when we get there. We finally get there, and bam, the fleet is there. Just, whoever they can get. There was hundreds of them there out of 3,000 and whatever ships. We had a few hundred there, which was great. And that was exciting. I was like, oh, yeah, it's on now. And that battle, you guys, the battle over Endor, nothing. Wolf 359, nothing. This is the best space battle seen on television ever. Explosions on top of explosions on top of explosions, you guys. This episode was flush with explosions. I don't even know how they're going to afford to do any more explosions for the rest of the season after this. So many ships were being destroyed. Finally get introduced to another ship captain for the first time ever. I'm pretty sure that was the first time ever. Captain Marcos, his last name was supposed to be Villa something or other. Villanueva, I want to say, like a, new house. But they just called him Marcos in the episode. We meet Captain Marcos, who is played by Carlos Bernard from 24 fame. He's like, has to do with everything with 24, which makes sense because John Cassar has to do with everything 24. So we meet this guy. He seems awesome. He seems like, oh, that's a badass captain right there. Pour some absada on the curb for my homies who ain't here no more. Poor Captain Marcos. And he gives him the code word at the end. He goes, I give you a 13-button salute. And that's when Captain Marcos is like, oh, okay. I got you, understood. Let's see you later. Bye. Love you. Bye-bye. And then, boom, the Kalon know what's going on. They explode him like 2 shots. Oh, my God. 13-button salute is a naval term, which I guess a naval officer in dress pants, they got these 13 buttons that hold them all up. And it's when they grab the corners and they pull down and all 13 buttons come undone, taking off their pants. This is usually happens just before sex. And that's why it's called the 13-button salute. Hello. The reason that's the code is because Ed is basically telling him, hey, Captain Marcos, 13-button salute, which means we're about to get okay? And that was the case. Ed was just trying to get somebody out there to warn the fleet. And speaking of warn the fleet, that's how Yaphet goes back into the conduits. And here's what I did not expect. Ty, played by Kai Winner, also went John McClane, which was pretty damn awesome. Claire's like, no, that's my baby. And he's like, I can do it. And they're like, we have no other choice. They're going to kill us anyway. And Marcus comes in and says, Mom, they're going to kill us anyway. We got to do this. Big ups to Marcus as well. He really came through. He manned up in this episode and really helped his mom get through it. So awesome. Hashtag Finn family. The boys are doing great this season. As long as they're not getting drunk in the environmental simulator. Marcus, I'm watching you, buddy. Oh, my God. You got Kelly and Gordon. They've take that shuttle to go and try to get help from the Krill, which is an insane idea. But just like they said in this episode, and something I already predicted, I said this was going to happen, that this situation with the Kalon, the Union's going to use to, have an unlikely alliance with the Krill. And that all came to fruition. They're in the shuttle, right? And Gordon's like, this is going to be dangerous. You're not supposed to, leave a ship with the shuttle while it's in quantum drive. And they did it anyway. Kelly doesn't want to know about it. They left. And man, that no. Well, that was amazing. They did it. They fly out. Basically, it seemed like they got slingshotted, which really it was, they left. They went out of quantum while they were in it, and they're basically the ship, the Orville, zipping away. So that's how that went. And they righted the ship. But they had Kalon on their tail, and they have to get ahead of these Kalons so they don't get destroyed before they get to Krill space. So Gordon knows this trick. It's called, side hug the donkey, where you just focus all the power sources from everything to the engines, and you just, leave the Krill in the dust, right? Space dust. So they do that. And then when they're zipping, at super fast light speed, that was the coolest damn, space flight scene that the Orville has done to date. When they're zipping through, just so many layers of stars on the screen. I highly recommend going back and watching that. It was so exciting. It was so cool. There's nothing bad to say about this episode. It was just amazing. They even had a Geloja corner. Bortus didn't even get to use because he already used up his Geloja for the year. His Geloja card was punched. But Isaac saved us, you guys. And I knew he was going to save us, especially when that crewman was thrown out the airlock. I can't believe they did a throw out the airlock scene in this show. They threw out the crewman, who a lot of people think he was wearing red, a red uniform. He was a red shirt. He was not a red shirt. I think he was the only non-red shirt to get killed. He was played by Mark Mamone. He's a comedian. Mark Mamone as crewman out the airlock. He was actually wearing orange You could see his engineering badge on. The reason it looked red is because they were in red alert, so the lighting made it look red. But God, I was like, there's no way they're going to shoot this guy out the airlock. Not on this show. Totally did it. Poor crewman. I'm so sorry, bud. And because they wanted to punish Ed. The Kalon are ruthless. Who would have thought? The Kalon are incredibly sick. So many explosions. A lot of you people who are like, oh man, this show's got too many feelings this season. What's going on? All this character drama. No, they were leading up to something. Now when everything was blowing up, you care more. Isaac was in on it the whole time. He wasn't just aware of this deception, what he was, his true mission, which was a thing I predicted might be the case. Maybe he didn't know. Maybe he is the Isaac that we know. No, he knew what he was doing the entire time, but he probably didn't know that it was the rest of the Kalon, that primary, was going to use the information to say, okay, yeah, let's kill him. Isaac probably thought he was, saving humanity, putting them in a good light. But he was not. Apparently the Kalon don't care. So at the end of the episode, Isaac saves us. He gets put out by the EMP. We decide to keep him on board. Yaphet wakes him up. Apparently Yaphet is now the main dude who knows about Kalon. I'll just say biology. That's not the right word. But Kalon biology. Yaphet's the dude that knows all about it. So he just got... take a little extra skill on his resume. Good for him. Isaac is on our side. We can definitely tell that the relationship between him, the boys, and Claire will be mended, but it will be different. And Isaac even said, I don't even want to go back to Kalon. It's my home, but I don't want, but because of, who the Kalon are now, I don't want anything to do with them. So he's with us. Thank goodness. So you guys, I'm excited to get started on my review. I got to go take my notes, gather all the details, behind the scenes pictures. There's a lot coming out. I'm going to gather them all up. I'm also going to start my review today of Star Trek Discovery, Light and Shadows. This is amazing. So many pew, 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 pews. It's great! The Orville Identity Part 2. So many explosions. Okay, that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about today, and I talked about it in my car. Ooh, I gotta go get breakfast. Breakfast. How about you? What did you think of Identity Part 2? You didn't hate it. I'm telling you right now. You loved it. You don't even need to answer that question, but please do. I want to know how much you loved this episode. All the space battles, all the tension, and redemption, and forgiveness. As Claire said, is an old ancient custom. It's not used very often from what I see, but forgiveness. Do we forgive Isaac? I forgive Isaac. Do you forgive Isaac? You can let me know what you think by joining the conversation below. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, supporting my stupid show. I am now, as of today, day number 1 of Egotastic FunTime. And your support really does mean the world to me. So thank you very much. And I'll see you really soon. And as always, I hope all your times are egotastic fun times. Love you, bye-bye.
Egotastic fun time, we're gonna have a great time. Egotastic fun time, give me all your money. Give him all your money. You will find it funny. Just give me money. I love money. Give him all your 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 money.